Now at 9, there's only 3 hours left of One Ball State Day. Find out how campus celebrated this year's 24-hour fundraiser.
Plus, 3 schools in the county are sending their robotics teams to a world competition. Learn more about the mechanics behind their success.
And updates to Mike Pence's stance on testifying in a special counsel probe. We have the latest from Washington.
And specific pollution controls to be tightened by the Biden administration.
And one stormy Ball State Day, but a calm, tranquil trend ahead. More of my full forecast ahead.
Delaware County's only live television newscast from Ball State University's Unified Media Newsroom. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Alex Almanza.
And I'm Andy Newman. We've experienced some wind and showers this afternoon.
Yeah, and it was a rainy day. We were expecting a lot of large winds and
a lot of rain.
Even possible storms, but thankfully that kind of died down. We still had some of those rains. But we want to take a look at this video that NewsLink Indiana's weather team got. This clip right here that you see on your screen, that's a clip, a little bit of a time lapse of the storm rolling into campus from the Teachers College, and we can see right there what a sight right there. And weather forecaster Ryan Hill is in the studio to tell us a little bit more about the rest of this week. I understand a little bit calmer.
Yeah, we did have some wild weather earlier, not as much as we were expecting. I'll talk about where in my full forecast, but right now, look at that front. It's just making its way through our area right here and spanning out some clearing as we work our way into Illinois. Look at those temperatures, though. Much colder as well. That's the other side of things. So in my full forecast, I'll talk about some blustery blues. How cold will it get tonight? Calming and sunny pattern as we work our way throughout the rest of the week and into our weekend. And an excellent Easter, maybe some 80s. More on that in my full forecast later on in the newscast. Alex?
All right, thank you so much, Ryan. And that storm that we saw, officials in Indiana have toured the Sullivan area after a deadly weather that is ravaged multiple states over the weekend and into this week. Indiana Department of Homeland Security Executive Joel Thacker wrote in a Facebook post that damage assessments are still ongoing, and you can see it right there on your screen. 5 counties that have been added to the state's disaster declaration request. That brought the total to 7 Indiana counties asking for help. As always, we're keeping those who have been impacted by this devastating storm in our thoughts, and we'll continue to keep you updated on air and online.
In Muncie, One Ball State Day is in its final hours. The 24-hour fundraising event has raised over $980,000 as of right now. That day-long event has been buzzing online and in person. Students are able to participate in a number of events today around campus and at Emmons Auditorium, including pizza with President Mearns, free milkshakes from Steak and Shake, plus games and trivia, and a bunch of Ball State prizes. Donors are still able to donate to any department on campus. Head to oneballstate.edu to give your gift by midnight.
And 3 Delaware County school robotics teams are on their way to the big stage. NewsLink Indiana's Anna Chalker sat down with the Selma's team to see how they're gearing up for the world's competition.
Go, 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 go.
An activity like no other.
Shoot it and then run into them.
That requires skills learned inside and out of the classroom.
Not only are they working on those problem solving, critical thinking, math and science standards, but they're also getting all of those real life experiences.
This 4-student team and their robot are on the way to the Robotic World Championship, a first for Selma Elementary School.
This is actually the first year we've ever had a team qualify for state. So Worlds was even more of a shock for us to learn that we received that invitation once we attended state.
But that invitation didn't come until the day after the state championship, as the team had to advocate for their scores after a robot malfunction.
After we found out the rewards and our name didn't get called, we were like, there's probably no way that we would make it, but then we did.
For Coach Jenna Eastham, team communication is key.
And then try to shoot.
Just having that confidence and that ability to learn something enough that they feel like they can stand up and speak up when they need to is an amazing skill at a 4th and 5th grade level.
And there's more that holds this robot together than the bolts and gears. It's the lifelong skills the Selma Brave bots are learning. In Selma, Anna Chalker,
there.
NewsLink, Indiana.
Joining the Selma Brave Bots is a team from Royalton Elementary and Delta Middle School. They will be competing against teams from 40 different counties or countries in Dallas from May 2nd through May 4th.
Well, Senate Bill 480 was signed into law today by Governor Eric Holcomb. The law would ban gender-affirming health care for minors in the state. That's according to Indiana Capitol Chronicle. And Holcomb, quote, said he seemed to agree with the bill's legislative supporters, and that was in a statement. Supporters said that such procedures should happen in as an adult. The Chronicle said the ACLU of Indiana is looking to challenge the ban.
Former Vice President Mike Pence will not appeal a court order to testify in a special counsel probe. That probe is investigating efforts by former President Donald Trump and his allies to subvert the 2020 election. Pence has stated he believes the Constitution protects him from being compelled to testify because he was serving as president of the Senate on January 6th. A federal judge did not agree and last week ordered him to testify. Pence did not say that he would appeal the decision at the time, but suggested that he might. His spokesperson confirmed today he will not try to appeal. The Biden administration wants to tighten pollution controls on coal-fired power plants. The Environmental Protection Agency is proposing a new rule that would slash mercury and other pollutions from plants by up to 70%. It would also require them to monitor emissions in real time and supply that data to the EPA. In February, the EPA finalized a decision to temporarily reestablish the Obama-era pollution rules. That newly proposed regulation would be the strongest update to mercury restrictions since 2012. The EPA estimates that it would result in up to $3 billion in public health benefits over 10 years.
Now, a record number of people are dying from firearm injuries in the U.S., and new research suggests that shootings are becoming much more lethal. Most victims of fatal firearm injuries die at the scene of the shooting before they can be treated in a healthcare setting. And about 57% of firearm fatalities in 2021 occurred at the scene of the shooting, and that's up 9% since 1999. And all this research, according to the JAMA Surgery Journal, CDC data shows that nearly 49,000 people died from firearm injuries in the U.S. in 2021. That's an unprecedented surge of about 23% over 2 years during the COVID-19 pandemic. Experts say one factor making shootings more lethal may be a shift in the type of firearms used.
One of the officers who was shot and killed in a school shooter in Nashville is speaking out. Courtney Allen has more.
For some reason, I was feeling tired.
A tired officer, Rex Engelbert, headed to the Metro Police Academy to get some work done last Monday. It put him outside of his precinct and near the Covenant School.
I really had no business being where I was. I think you can call it fate or God.
Engelbert was among the first to enter the school that day, working alongside officers he'd never met before.
You would have never known that Rex wasn't part of the team that went in that day.
He's the one wearing this body camera video who fired at the suspect.
I was relieved of duty on that scene. I was told to sit in my car, and that was pretty difficult because I could tell there was more work to be done.
Engelbert and 3 other responding officers spoke out for the first time Tuesday.
I know that at least one of you is a father, and I'm wondering how you explain to your children not only what happened that day, but also your role that day.
I've got an 11-month-old. Obviously, it's difficult. I will have this conversation with him when he is old enough and ready. The biggest thing that I will instill on him is how proud I am of the actions, not only of other officers, but what I did.
They were upstairs. Police say what helped them was the brave staff members of the Covenant School.
They stayed on scene, they didn't run, and they gave me concise, clear information for me to use to help anyone in danger.
And across the pond, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky visited Poland, one of his country's closest allies. Now, in a speech, he thanked Poland's leaders and its people for their full-throated support during Russia's war with Ukraine. Zelensky said that nothing can divide the allies or deprive Europe of freedom. Meanwhile, Polish President Duda promised to send more military jets to Ukraine and said that he will work to, quote, obtain security guarantees for Ukraine at the upcoming summit in Lithuania.
International travel is on the rise. AAA reports that airline bookings are up more than 200% compared to 2022. Europe and Canada are the most popular destinations, with Rome, Paris, Vancouver, and Dublin as hotspots as well. London in particular has a 350% increase in travelers compared to last year. As a result, hotel bookings are on the rise, up more than 300% compared to 2022. Unfortunately, higher demand for flights means higher airfares, but it doesn't seem to be forcing travelers away from going abroad.
And coming up, what NPR's CEO is calling a violation of the platform's policy.
Plus, an extension for the tax deadline for some. Find out more next.
I love you!
Prescription drug pricing points to corporate
Freedom of the press is about your right to know.
and Clark sheer athleticism.
It's about your right to be informed. Today, there are real threats to press freedom
Reaching residential areas.
and your right to know about the world around us. We must protect our right to know, no matter what kind of news is important to you. Before it's too late, understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Welcome back. NPR is criticizing Twitter for labeling the public radio broadcaster as a, quote, state-affiliated media. That label is typically saved for foreign propaganda outlets such as Russia's RT and Sputnik. National Public Radio's CEO is calling the action unacceptable and a violation of Twitter's own policy. NPR does receive some government funding, but the vast majority comes from corporate sponsors and public broadcasting membership fees. Meanwhile, other outlets similar to NPR, like the BBC, remain unlabeled.
Well, U.S. employers are still adding jobs, but they're starting to scale back. Now, according to payroll processor ADP, the private sector added 145,000 jobs last month. That's well below economists' expectations of 200,000, and it's much less than February's monthly job gain of 261,000. Now, the largest job losses were seen in finance, professional and business services, and manufacturing. Now, ADP says it's a signal that the economy is slowing, but employers are pulling back as borrowing costs continue to rise. Well, the IRS extended the tax filing deadlines to Americans affected by storms and tornadoes that hit several states last week. The regular tax filing deadline for most Americans this year is April 18th, but storm victims in parts of Mississippi and Arkansas will now have until July 31st to file those taxes, and residents and businesses in parts of California, Alabama, and Georgia will have until October 16th to file their taxes. Now, the IRS is expecting as many as 168 million individual tax returns this year.
And one stormy Ball State day turns to one tranquil pattern, where we get hit and where we turn to some groovy 70s and 80s in my full forecast after the break.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your...
Yeah, we got hit pretty bad with some severe weather. It's tranquil now, but take a look. The lion's share of that severe weather hit the Indy area, but we were not spared in Grant County. Take a look at these. We do have a wind report of or at least 58 miles per hour or greater severe criteria. We also have some downed semis as well as some downed trees. We did also have some funnel cloud reports in Grant County. So not altogether spared, but calmer than what we were expecting earlier today. And speaking of calm, you've got those clear skies already working their way to the state line for Indiana. And that you can actually see in the temperatures right here. You can see where that cold front is. Those temperatures really falling off, 45 in Champaign, but still really nice with upper 50s and lower 60s up and down the I-69 corridor. But those temps take a tumble from there. 36 we're expecting overnight. And those winds gusting to 30 miles per hour, well, that's more along the lines of with this front and just a little bit after. They should relax, but this is going to be a pretty big shock for us, folks, as we have been dealing with some mid-70s through yesterday. But I've got to tell you, we're going to be warming up throughout the week, and that's going to start even with tomorrow. We're going to be a little under average, of course, 53 degrees, winds west-northwest at 10 miles an hour, so calmer there, so much more pleasant with the sun. And then going out to our extended trend. You see the jet stream, that river of air that separates the colder air and the warm. Watch as we put this into motion throughout the rest of this week, and you see those warmer colors lift north. So at the same time, we're going to be warming things up, as well as introducing some calmer conditions as that ridge kind of pushes everything stormy out of the way for quite a while. And that's also reflected in the CPC outlook. You see to my right, we've got some well above average conditions, which as we roll that beautiful 7-day footage, see what I'm talking about right here. Wow, did somebody turn up the heat. And night fever, bringing back those groovy 70s by the time we reach next week this time. Holy crow. How about 80s maybe by the time we reach Thursday as well? You guys ready to break out the shorts and maybe some calm weather for the relief
I think your
efforts?
singing's got us got into a little bit of a groovy move, you know what I'm saying? Like and especially that 80-degree weather. Like you don't expect that. Was that the first or second time we're hitting 80s this year? It's
just
pretty
the second,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, about the second time.
Hey, I'll take it anytime, man. I'll wear shorts all the time if I could.
Yeah, and I think the only problem with that is you keep the shorts in like a bin somewhere at the bottom of the
I got them up on my
stairs,
shelf
a closet.
somewhere, yeah.
You just gotta dig them up, and it takes
Throw
a
'em
while.
on. Dust them up,
Yeah, but hey, you know what? I'm glad that we're having that weather. All right, Ryan, thank you so much.
I'm down for it too.
Well, there's plenty in the going on in the world of sports. Let's send it over to Isaiah with a preview.
Thanks, guys. One Ball State program's historic season has come to an end, and spring sports are well underway in Muncie. All this next in sports.
Here's your sandwich, miss.
Oh, thank you.
And your burger.
Awesome, thank you.
And your bowl of boiling water, sir.
After retiring from the NFL, I've been able to spend a lot more time coaching my daughter's basketball teams. It's something I love to do. Through our games and our tournaments, we see all types of coaching, good and bad. And it begs the question, do we really know who's coaching our kids? Do they have the proper training and screening it would take for me to be comfortable with my daughters playing for that coach? Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to screen and train all of our coaches. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
So if one cat has 4 kittens who reproduce every 6 months, how many cats will there be in 5 years? Who's got it? Is this... What is that? Seriously? Who threw that?
Cats are terrible at math, but they sure do multiply. Please spay, neuter, and adopt.
The solution is 10. Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Isaiah Rosner with sports. After a historic season, the Ball State gymnastic team's triumphant run has finally come to an end. NewsLink Indiana's Brandon Beeman sat down with the team to recap the monster season.
Impactful. New beginnings. Historic.
Those 4 words don't do nearly enough justice for the memorable season put on by the Ball State gymnastics team. After making it to their second ever NCAA regional team berth in program history, the team was more than happy with how the season turned out.
But this group has just been amazing. They are good at communicating, they're good at putting away distractions, and being able to come together and work towards a common goal.
The Cardinals smashed a massive collection of individual and team records. For junior Hannah Ruthberg, the success wasn't expected until it was already in motion.
As we got to the end of preseason and as we started preseason, we all really unified and we really pulled together and we found our common goal, which was to have a historic season and make it to regionals.
Freshman Zoe Middleton loved the energy in the gym when she visited as a recruit.
On my visit, I just saw how everybody was having so much fun in the gym and how it was just like, it just seemed like a fun, cool, inviting environment.
Coach Salim, who sets the positive practice etiquette, took home 2 Head Coach of the Year awards alone, but won't let the work of assistant coaches Cassandra Ringer and Scott Wilson go unnoticed. Those 2 shared the honor of WCGA Regional Assistant Coaches of the Year.
I mean, it's awesome to see them get recognized. They're constantly in the office or in the gym and just putting forth all that they have towards helping elevate the team and each
With
individual.
only 4 seniors graduating, the team looks to build on this monumental year.
I'm excited to keep building and keep moving in the direction that we've been moving in.
After such a good year, I feel like we can really only go up.
Those hopeful words look to power the Cardinals through the offseason into next year. In Muncie, Brandon Beeman, NewsLink Indiana.
From the mat to the ballpark as Ball State softball looked to snap their 3-game losing streak. The Cardinals make the midweek journey up to South Bend to face off against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. After a hard-fought contest, Ball State falls with a final score of 10-2, which puts their record at 16-17 on the season. The Cardinals will be back in action at home in a weekend series against the Toledo Rockets. To keep things on the diamond, Ball State baseball swinging in the right direction. After coming off a weekend series at Akron, winning 2 out of 3 games, the Cardinals returned to First Merchants Ballpark yesterday afternoon. The weather was hot and so were the Cardinals, dominating the Bellarmine Knights 12-3. Ball State able to blast 4 home runs in the outing, putting their record at 21-7 on the year. The Cardinals will be on the road again this weekend for a series at the Citadel. And guys, nothing like some spring baseball. Personally, I'm a Little League umpire, so I'm excited to do that again this summer.
Hey, there you go. And like you said, it's warmer, it's hotter, and it's just perfect weather, almost perfect weather. I guess.
I'm from Fort Wayne, so I'm going to go back over this summer, go to a Tin Caps game. One of my favorite places in the world. I'm going to sit down, eat a ballpark hot dog, and just enjoy some great baseball.
Yeah, and baseball and baseball food is always the best. You got the Cracker Jacks, the
cheap.
Yeah, sort of. I guess you can say.
Depends on the stadium.
Thank you so much, Isaiah. And in just moments, the Super Mario Bros. Movie made its way to theaters, and critics and fans are split.
And a final look at your weather next.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go. Never gonna let
Hi.
Can you help me?
I got it.
Thank you.
No problem.
Just like the rules to surviving Zombieland, there are steps you can take to be prepared for an emergency.
It's the right thing to do.
Talk with your family to make a plan. Look for safe areas to meet up if separated. And stock up on supplies. It's never too early to get prepared, so start now.
Right now? Right now.
You can't predict emergencies, but you can be ready.
You're welcome, America.
Visit ready.gov today to learn more.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Well, you know that barcode, you know that rectangle of thick and thin parallel lines on nearly every product that product actually recently turned 50 years old. Yes, the barcode. And we all know the familiar sound the grocery store checkout beeps every time a barcode is scanned on every item. Versions of the barcode go back to 1952. And actually in 1973, the design created by an IBM engineer was approved as the industry standard. Now, of course, it's used for identification, pricing, inventory, and keeping track of packages and luggage. Basically everything. The first barcoded product was scanned at Marsh's Supermarket in Ohio in the summer of 1974. It was for a 10-pack of Wrigley's Juicy Fruit gum. Now, a replica of that gum is in an exhibit at the Smithsonian Museum in Washington, D.C.
I'll think about that the next time I go out to the store. But the highly anticipated The Super Mario Bros. Movie released today, and critics and fans are split. The film follows the journey of famous Nintendo video game brothers Mario and Luigi Mario as they encounter all members of the Mushroom Kingdom. The movie, created by Universal and Illumination Studios, stars Chris Pratt as Mario, Charlie Day as Luigi, Anna Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, and Jack Black as the infamous Bowser. Wow. As of now, the comedy sits at a rotten 55% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know about that. From critics after opening day, the audience actually couldn't disagree more, as the audience score holds at a fresh 95%. The Hollywood trade paper Deadline reports that Super Mario Bros. Movie is on track to make a $225 million opening wide this week.
Wow. And I heard that you're planning on going and seeing it.
Oh, I'm going. Yeah, this weekend I'm going with my friend Kyle, and I'm super excited about it. But, did you know that Mario's last name is Mario? Isn't that weird?
That.
Yeah,
so it's Mario,
It's Mario,
and then
Luigi
Mario.
I don't know, who came up with that. If they were just sitting and
So
they're just sitting down and they're just I'm just Mario, second one.
It's just kind of like if I were Alex, Andy.
Yeah, like Alexander, whatever.
Well, you know what? I'm excited to see this movie, and I'm sure you are too.
Yeah.
And what a cast.
A lot of nostalgia.
You've got Jack Black. You've got Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Jack Black is coming back after a 4-year retirement from film, so happy to see him back in the theater.
All right. Well, we're going to take one final look at weather. Ryan, what you got?
Well, I got to tell you, it's definitely perfect for going out and maybe gaming outside. I got to tell you, those 70s rolling back in the forecast, maybe even some 80s. Definitely a forecast I would buy, take it out of the supermarket. It's mine. I love it. How about you guys?
Oh, well, we love it too. Thank you so much, Ryan. That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night.